Alright, we're going to do a couple videos here. I'm going to show you guys a couple different things. Let me turn this TV on, get the monitor on, boot this computer, turn on this radio. And then we're going to have to pull out 7300, we're going to have to pull out the 710, we're going to have to pull out the 6100, and then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be comparing the resolution of the stuff against the SDR play. And also, I'm going to be probably removing that computer today. Oh, Lord. It has a fairly fast processor, but it's just not really looking good in that position for me. I don't know if I could lay it flat, actually. But then I have the UPS power supply sort of in the way. I've got some other radios I wanted to put out, but anyway, opt out of the back out. They constantly are trying to get you to do stupid stuff in Windows. It's like, I have said no to it. I don't need you to remind me. Anyway, we're waiting for the thing to boot. Well, like I said, I think it's kind of slow. Is it not even going to boot? When I say boot, I mean SDR play start. Okay, I don't know why it wouldn't start. Like I said, I'm not a fan of this thing. I don't know if it's got an i5 6500 in it, which is a good processor, but I think that it's the motherboard that's just garbage. We could try putting some more RAM in it and see what happens. I've kind of made some mistakes ordering the RAM. Like, I went and put too big of sticks that I should have just bought two instead of one. But I was thinking, well, what if I buy this one? I don't want $100 worth of RAM in any computer, to be honest with you. Unless it was like some brand new DDR5 machine. So, let's get this going here. Alright, so we get this really bad light from the window. Comes in here and makes it really hard to see it sometimes. What band do we want? 40. Let's see what's on 40. We had some signals up here on 40. And you see they pop out pretty good. The contrast is pretty good. And if you look at it very closely, it's pretty good. I can zoom in. This thing's doing something. It's probably downloading a damn update. The fact that it booted up saying what it said was a sign of that. When I put out the 710 earlier, I was just like, God, I forgot how small this thing is. So, let's check 20. Just want to see what 20 looks like.
But you know where I am. How's my signal out there? I know the band is wonky. You're like double nickels right now. Yeah, you know, actually, surprisingly, I got...
Made a lot of noise on certain bands. And we go. I wish they would make this more available, this software. I also wish they would improve it. If I could design my own software, it would look something like the 7610, 710, 101, but with SDR Play Uno down on the bottom. And so what I don't like about SDR Play is this, and I don't like having to go ham upper and lower. I think that they could have just made this thing a little bit bigger this way or that way to include all the bands like they would be on here. And then have like a shortwave version. There's custom. I don't know. You probably could change it, right? Yeah, you could. Anyway. I mean, they do have these other bands here. Okay, so actually 10's not looking very good. Well, with this one here too, we're looking at the entire band, which is not what you really want for 10 meters because these signals are too far out of resolution. We'll bring it in a little bit. Where are we at now? Oh geez, we're way too far zoomed in. So with SDR Play, you can go like this, and you can move things. You know, there's a lot of stuff that you can do that you can't do on a radio, unless you have a Flex or an Anon or the dreadful Hermes. So what I want to do is pull this up too. Well, there's 500 right here. Most of us aren't going to be above that. We're looking at 2802 up to there. And we're just looking at FT8 signals. There's a few signals here. And if these aren't two signals clustered together, then that's a pretty wide signal. I can't tell. So, let's zoom in a little more. Okay, we're at... It just jumps on me. It goes 28,730. Why would you do that? I don't want that there. It keeps moving. Okay, so now we're looking at like a resolution where the signals should look pretty good. There's something right here. So this is like actually quite a bit of work. When you're zoomed in that far, it doesn't move quickly. I don't know, there might be an easy way to do this. So I just want to be about somewhere around here. There's definitely people that pop on the band, especially from like Australia, above 500. There's 500 right there. And so this is too far in as far as resolution is concerned because we can't see the bottom of it. So we have to zoom out. And I'm going to put my marker right here because what's going to happen is I zoom out, it's going to move. So for 10 meters, this is probably about as good as you're going to get. We're looking at about 290. We'll move that to just below 300. And we're halfway up 500. We can see some signals right here. But anyway, you're not going to do this on the 710 or any of those other radios. It's not happening. All right, so this is what we got here. And also, one of the things it does is it puts these lines through it. And I'm not figuring out how to get rid of that. But let's go up to the band here. We don't... Oh, we do have it on. God dang it. I do use the preamp on 10 meters when the band's quiet. So, rather than focus on the radio itself, we should really be paying attention to the display output. But the radio is a little sharper than the display because you're losing quite a bit. It's the resolution on this thing is absolutely junk. It you're 800 by 600. It's not good. It's pretty bad. You could change it to make it a little more even for the bottom. You can change it. 800 by 480. Here's a really moot point. You see the where at bottom it says back? There we go. You see how it comes up? It's a little bit smaller resolution. The 800 by 600 is technically more resolution than 800 by 480. So, anyway. I mean, it's okay, you know, for something that was 10 years ago, you know, and that's the thing, is like, we're so far behind on everything, radio-wise. And so, it's downgrading you from whatever the display is. I don't know what the resolution of the actual display is, the native resolution. I mean, maybe it might be the same and it just looks better because it's a smaller display. But to me, also, I think that this display is sharper than the 7300. But anyway, so we don't see any signals here. We're centered. We hit fixed. And then fixed, we're looking at our span of 200K, which puts us, let's go 100. 28.3 to 28.4, we could see a signal right there. Doesn't look too bad when you're up close like that. The band is really crap right now.
Okay, Manny. Yo voy a ser Manny, el hombre discoteca Manny, desde la Florida. Tiene que ensayar un poquito más. Que como, okay, Manny.
So we have 300 to 500, which is about where we really want to be. But now we can't see anything. The band is just so up and down. But if we compare where we were at earlier today, we were 140. And we need to come in here and so negative 30 is as low as you can go. I think 15's about where I usually have it. It's just not that clear. And keep in mind, you're watching this video, it looks better on camera than it does right here. It cleans it up for some reason. Like, it makes it look a lot nicer than it is. And anybody that owns one of these radios, I don't have to tell you. You guys already know. I mean,
And I stopped by there one time. He was working a station in Germany. And I just said, you on 20? And he said, no, I'm on 40. Yeah, that's the middle of the afternoon. He's talking to Germany on 40 meters.
YXM Richard was talking about another fallout guy down in Castle Rock, Colorado, that had
so if we look at the radio itself,
multi-element quad being on 40 meters, and yeah, that sounded like that was quite the setup also.
Was it YXM that mentioned that?
YXM, and I think Gary had something to say about him too, but YXM had seen his station and everything. There you go. Thanks, Richard.
Been listening, guys. Carry on. Good afternoon. Yeah, that was Jim Lindsay, and that's the same guy that was living in Pavilion.
Okay.
You see how this
that, Richard, that he moved up to Wyoming, or Wyoming?
let's see what we. Come on. Cute. I always should be careful with these cables because they can definitely scratch your radio up. Okay. Trying to get this thing. Now, if you look at this one, you'll see it actually has better. It has better resolution. Let me get in a little closer. It's definitely got better resolution. These are the guys we were just listening to.
No, the last one that he was running.
I don't even have the latest software on this either. Andy's gay. I bet you that's what it says. So somebody's transmitting into the waterfall. So, if you guys have never seen that before, there's software that will allow you to make letters in the waterfall. Apparently they're done. I feel like this has better resolution. For field radio, I mean, it's really good.
Would be the term I'm looking for.
Yeah, I almost think this is like a better display all the way around. In my opinion, but the radio's not perfect.
He had a very neat furnace in his home. It had fire brick in it. It was new. And during the middle of the night, say around, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning, when the power company offered a very cheap electrical rate.
So there's a newer firmware where you can do even more with this waterfall and spectrum.
And he showed it to me.
You can get rid of the oscilloscope on the end.
Just glowing hot. Just unbelievable. And then that would heat the home all during the day. The only time the furnace actually took electricity was in the middle of the night. Yaesu said. Not to mention his 70-inch LCD TV, and this was, God, 10 years ago when such things were unheard of.
Now, I don't remember how the span works on this one or not. And there's our birdie. Too bad the ding dong doesn't operate on that frequency anymore. But there he is right there, I can hear him. So the one guy is always around that frequency now, but he won't operate on that frequency. Turn the ATU off. So the RF gain on this radio acts like a preamp. There's 20. You see it's pretty sharp. He changes span. The waterfall gain. And then the FFT average. There's an RF FFT and an AF FFT. And I don't know what BL is.
W7YO, you both have a good evening. WS0O.
73. And enjoy your meal.
Will do.
did it under supervision of the XYL, but I just followed directions. I didn't use any brain cells, just muscle tissue to do what she wanted done. But I'm going to make one. I decided I miss them. I bought one at the supermarket, and my God, it tasted like sawdust with pitches.
Okay, yeah. Happy to talk to you about that. So, yeah, I kind of vary the mix a bit, but, you know,
It looks pretty good.
Hamburger, sausage, sometimes I'll put some grated cheese in there, and I can put breadcrumbs in. I don't do that. I throw in a couple of eggs and
It's like a jammer.
chopped up
Do you
onions,
see that weird stuff?
some garlic, and you know, just kind of mix that up, mash that up, and put it in a glass pan, bake it in the oven for about like here, 45
I swear that all these people are just being a nuisance all day long. Like, is that all they do? That's a person doing that. That's not some charge controller. The same person was transmitting letters and numbers.
Well, the sauce that takes the spot too. There's a lot you can do with that. So I'm going to experiment with that. And then the breadcrumbs, I didn't know what they are. I had to go to the supermarket and ask them, where are they and what are they? And there was a young lady there, actually not a young lady, and she just laughed and said, okay, of course I know what they are. And so I went and got the breadcrumbs, which don't seem to be breadcrumbs. They're a separate product. Well, just buy a loaf of bread and let it dry out, but that's how you get breadcrumbs.
7-3 guys.
7-3, Todd. Yeah, 7-3, Todd. Well, I didn't know that, Dick. I'm not ignorant, I just don't know. Do you have a medical garden cookbook? I bet I do.
You have to make some compromise. And they eliminated that and say, it's around the walkway if you have a cholesterol problem. Everyone in my family has had cholesterol problems. So, we really try to watch that. Now, thank God, there are some good medicines that will help keep your cholesterol down. And they've been very, very effective. I've read that for years and years and years and years. My cholesterol is really down to 124, I think, the last time it was measured. Well, you've been doing good. You've been doing good. So you don't go
See how
on
it
any
doesn't really look all that great?
No, I try not to. I really do try to eat. He said the most expensive thing in there is what blows up first. But on vacuum tube amps, it's not that way. Yeah, that can be. If you abuse tubes, you'll shorten their lifetime. And some of them are getting hard to come by. But by the way, I have 6 4-1000As. If anybody needs any, I will not be building anything with 4-1000s anymore. So if you know of anybody that, including yourself, that's looking for some 4-1000s, so steer them my way. Ah, very good. Well, I'll try to come on by there and see you. Pick up a couple. I do use them. I like them. I have variacs on the primary of the filament transformer. I bring the voltage up slowly. Gary told me about the knee, where to operate them on the knee as far as voltage goes. And my wife used to go on about
she was a ham, and I'd slowly bring up the filament voltage and let the glass warm up and all that. And her take on it was, she wasn't a tube expert, but she listened to many QSOs, and she just said, that tube will still be working and you'll be gone, you know that.
If they're rugged tubes, they really are. And if they're treated halfway decently, they'll last almost a lifetime. By the way, Andy, KC7KW has he built an amplifier using four national 1008, almost grumpy, and he sold it. I think it's gone through several owners, but he sold it yesterday and it's coming back home again.
Oh, that'd be great. Send me a picture of it. He said, don't send it to anybody else. I don't want, this picture floating around, but here it is. And my, oh my. I'll tell you what, that was impressive.
Do you know what the plate voltage is on that amplifier?
No, he didn't tell me.
8,000. Whoa. Yeah, whoa. One time when he was running it, his wife came running out of the house, waving her hands and saying, there's something dripping down on the ground from your antenna and it set the grass on fire.
That's when you know you're getting out.
You're not
If
getting
you're not, you sure should be. It was the Paul styrene that accounts for the heat, for the current of the antenna that was used for the.
All right. Let's get this thing over. Let's see.
One transmitter at the VOA where Glenn was in North Carolina, as it has a single tube.
Screenshot's like kind of off.
But the plate dissipation is 680 kilowatts.
We're not quite right on the.
Holy mackerel! The plate dissipation alone, yeah. The amplifier alone is 500,000 watts.
So with this radio, it really depends on how you want to set up.
It's hard to get your head around.
Oh, it really is. All the transmitters at the VOA were rated at 250 kilowatts or above, and most of them were half a megawatt.
Who built them, Harris?
Say again?
Who is the manufacturer? Was it Harris?
No, it was a British built transmitter.
Wow.
By the way, their antenna farm was 3,500 acres. They had one antenna that was steerable vertically and horizontally for directionality. It was 2 blocks long.
I remember, I think it was you telling me, Glenn got to operate one of those transmitters with his little handheld QRP transceiver. One of those little tiny jobs. I mean, they're just nothing. They call them a cuber or something like that. There's nothing to them. And but he said he worked all kinds of deals.
Oh yeah, it was a something 40, TR something 40. it only ran 3 watts, I think, and he was feeding they had a pair of stacked beams on 400-foot towers there were 900, and not beams, wrong base. On 400-foot towers, they were stacked. They were 960 feet on a lathe. And the guy in Europe, he was working a guy in Europe, and the guy gave him a real good signal report, and he said, well, what are you running? And Glenn told him what it was running, and the guy didn't believe it. And he said, what are you using for an antenna? And he said, oh, the antenna is a pair of optics on 400-foot towers. And the guy got offended, thought that Glenn was lying to him, and just wouldn't believe it.
Boy, that must have been a thrill. You know, Glenn, the whole time I knew him, he was never QRO.
Most of the time, that's right. He generally ran pretty decent power.
He seemed to be fond of 100 watts.
I remember when you remember Dean Bannish show, don't you?
Yeah, I got to talk to him briefly.
Yeah.
I don't mean it was a short fuse, though. I mean, I met him. We talked to him on this frequency, and then it wasn't that much later that he fell down those fast stairs. Boy, that was the end of it.
Then he was running a pair of three dash, what's that for? But there were 1,000-watt plate dissipated trials, and my short-term memory, Glenn, is absent. It just evaporated. Anyway, Glenn asked him, the grid driven or castle driven? He said, well, the castle driven. He said, well, why don't you grid driven? Grid drive. And of course, the reason he didn't, they were petrols, is what they were. So they probably were 4-1000. But anyway, Dean was kind of rubbing him the wrong way, about, why don't you grid drive them? And instead of castle driving them. And of course, the reason is they didn't require neutralization, but Dean kind of poo-pooed him, and he said, you ought to grid drive those things. And so he succumbed to Glenn's suggestions, and he went ahead and drove them, but they weren't adequately neutralized. And they took off and blew up on him, and it just scattered parts all over the hamstring. It just everywhere.
Yeah, I remember that, actually. I remember that. And that's the amplifier.
These guys have got some really cool stories, so that's why I thought I'd just sit here and we can listen.
Eventually, and that's where it ended up. And by the way, it's off the air again for some reason or other. It's kind of hard to stay in contact with Bill. He hasn't been on now for several weeks, and I did get a text message because I had tried to make several calls to him, and I couldn't reach him, so I sent him a text message, and he responded to that. But anyway, when that pair of grid-driven 4-1000s, that weren't neutralized, took off on him, Glenn says, you don't know what trouble is until you've got a 4,000-watt oscillator with no load on it.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Glenn never forgot it.
And he didn't try to cover it up.
He'd tell you about it. He warned you. He would warn you.
Yeah, it was a parasitic oscillation is what it was. When you grid drive petrols, you probably should do it, and you don't swap.
So we got 7 to 7.4. You can see. And it goes even further, 6.8, 7.6.
And you may not have enough power for your exciter. You need, if you grid drive
pretty heavily.
5K.
And of course,
So it should be 5 in each direction.
you have to make sure before you put full plate voltage on them that you check them for parasitics.
So these guys are 3K wide. This marker is kind of not... It should be on the edge of the sideband. And I thought I had changed the setting for that.
Circulating around the zigu. So if you ever need something like that, let me know and I can send you a copy of it. Okay, Dick.
Yeah, we'll go look at the signal on the SDR play, and you'll be amazed.
I got away from the Tetros when
I'm going to try and get my
I tried to
radio set up.
a pair of, and my friend did too, a pair of 4CX250Bs
Okay, so we're on.
HS. And they were good tubes. There was nothing wrong with them. They were
6.7?
government surplus. They were in the can. You know, you open up the can and take the tube out. There was nothing wrong with them. I stuck them in my amplifier.
Okay, let's see. I'd love to hear what he was saying, but I don't know.
Yes, they did. Yeah, they can. By the way, you're listening to 375 ADW. That's a variant, a high-powered variant of the 4CX250B. That's what you're listening to now.
See how it's perfectly smacked on the thing? We do have those lines.
Well, they sound great. Well, if you're a beginner, don't fool around with Tetris. Yeah, that's, well, it's okay. You probably, one of your first tubes was that you used was probably a Teco. It might have been a 606 or an 807. But my first amplifier was a pair of 813. Really? Or when you first started? Yes. Yep. I ran.
I guess there's a little gap in between it. So we have the marker here, and then we have that there.
Shortly after I got my general, I didn't have them when I was a novice, of course, but it didn't take me too long after I got on the phone to realize I needed an amplifier. Yeah, I have an amplifier with the pair of 813.
I don't know what that is.
6 or 8 months, maybe longer than.
There's like a signal right here. Yeah. I'm hearing those guys splattering on there, but I'm also hearing a signal. We go. Well, you can't get rid of them, can you? I don't know why you can't click in the waterfall to tune. Oh, you can. It just wasn't responding.
I don't let mine. I got a pair I just recently built. I built up a pair for 17 meters.
But see, we can't really get that kind of resolution on any of these other radios.
I haven't fired it up yet. That's next on my list of things to do.
I like how you can change the color on the 7300. So up close, the 7300 has actually pretty damn good resolution.
I love it. It is really neat. In fact, I built it twice. I finished it the first time, and then I looked at everything. I said, it'd be so much better to have this over in this place, move this transmitter over here, put this over here. And then I thought about it, and I said, well, do it. Go ahead and do it. Just take it all apart. That won't be that big of a deal. Arrange it the way you want it, and have that till you croak. Have everything the way you want it. Why not?
These guys are awesome.
Do it in the time and so forth. You bet. It's nice to do things that way. But whatever happened to the building that you used to have an outbuilding that you built especially as a ham shack when I first met you, I think. You had a.
If we could tone down the gain on the waterfall, I don't know how to do it on this radio real easily.
I'll bet you still have it. Yeah, that's my workshop. That's where I build things. And I don't put ham gear in there anymore because if I do, I'll be on ham radio and I won't get anything built. I know what you're saying.
This guy's awesome. That's what happens.
But, this frequency was always good. Right now, if you listen around the ham band, I don't care what ham band, 160 through 10, you will never hear anything technical. They all talk about the weather, and that's it. They just talk about the weather, and it's just mindless jabber. It just drives me nuts.
This guy's awesome.
On this frequency, you're going to hear a lot of conversation about food and wine. Well, this is a great place. 40 meters seems to have a lot of technical discussions, but you don't hear them anymore. That's sort of true. You don't hear technical discussions hardly anywhere. All the fun is building stuff. Talking's fun, but it sure is a lot of fun to build things.
I agree. This kind of turned into a nice little test where this is why I listen. I get to hear stuff like this. And actually, you can learn by listening to a lot of these old timers. Okay, there's some stuff here that can be changed. So the grid says 5K 10 dB. And I don't think we can. And that's another thing that the radio. Center grid.
I believe it. I believe it. Well, when I left the Air Force after the Vietnam War closed down, all our equipment was called. A lot of S-line equipment that would be used at centers.
So 50K on both sides.
Pretty good center, maybe 400 or 500.
A little hard to see it at this point, but we're looking at the entire band.
And it was called S-line from one end to the other, rig after rig after rig.
Okay, so 100, 708. 250. See, it goes 250K, and the 710 doesn't do that. It goes 200 to 500. But see, we get so much, I'd have to roll back my RF gain.
Yeah, when you mentioned watt meter, that
and now I can see the signal. See that?
Usually the phone patch. In that enclosure
But it's such a small screen that you're not able to see what I can see on the SDR play. That's the problem.
We had a big sideband transmitter that you pulled behind a truck, and it ran 10 kW. At the airport, we had a 10 kW Collins sideband transmitter.
who the manufacturer was?
Collins. Art Collins.
Well, this is RF combination squelch.
Of course, you know, they made a lot of broadcast equipment.
Well, the Air
So it
Force
shows you
really
that
liked the
RFG.
Collins equipment.
That's the gain.
I mean, they really. And
We
I'll
can
tell
roll
you
it
one
back
thing, too.
to
That
pull the
ROL
signals
was
out
best for 'em.
on the waterfall.
They were frequency stable. Somebody was on 17 meters a couple of weeks ago saying that those Collins were no good. They drifted all over the place. They wouldn't stay on frequency. I had to get involved in that QSO and ask that guy what planet he
See
was
the
from.
OFV?
He didn't know what he was talking about.
It's over voltage.
They were the most stable transmitter available at the time. You know,
If we run the attenuator,
they just don't.
I don't know if just one setting all.
Somebody fiddled around with the PTO
Well, we can
or
actually
something
see
like
it
that.
now.
That's a different story. By the way, I knew the guy that designed the call PTO.
7.167 megahertz LSD.
Like anything else. Yeah, I sure have.
Ted Carter was the inventor of the Collins PTO.
I have no idea how
A
to
whole room full of them.
really
And
adjust
they never turned them off. They never
the-
turned them off.
the
They
dB
ran
of the
day and
waterfall.
night, year after year.
Yeah, a lot of places did that. In embassies with government installations and stuff like that. That's true. Glenn, if you're going to make some meatloaf, you're going to have to need a little bit of time. And I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to have for supper, so I need to get up there and look around and decide what I'm going to put together. I don't want to be eating at 8 o'clock like I do sometimes. So I'll say 7 to 3 for now. It's been a real pleasure chatting with you. And join us as often as you can, Glenn. Really, I'm very sincere. As often as you can get on, and it's convenient for you, just jump in.
Okay, we'll do it, Dick. We sure will. Yeah, I enjoy getting in here. I really do. Alrighty, we'll look for you tomorrow. And you're right. I got to go make dinner.
Oh,
Have a good evening, Dick. W0YXM. Here's W7YO.
there it is.
That's pretty, Glenn.
There we go. You're like, it's like. I don't know what it was set to originally. I don't know what that was. Let's change it and see. DF. Don't know what it does. Anyway, I don't use this radio a lot. I've had 3 of these radios. I think I've had 3. Yeah, I've had 3. And it's a really fun to use radio, in my opinion. It's one of the best sounding radios you can buy. On Transmit, it's really like, hands down, one of the best sounding radios. I mean, don't get me wrong, most radios that you can go buy brand new, they sound okay, but they don't sound, it's kind of like a stereo, okay? Some stereos sound just a little bit better than the average stereo. And that's the case with these. They just sound better. And there's tons of them on the air. We've all heard them, and we all know they sound great. We've all heard lots of Yaesus on the air too, and they don't all sound great because they set them up kind of different. They set them up to where they sound very flat, and they just don't sound good out of the box. And like lots of stereos that I've messed with, certain stereos, no matter how you adjust them, they never sound as good as the stereo from the 70s, no matter what you do. They do not have the low end. They don't have the punch. They're just not smooth and mellow with the low end. And anyway, in a lot of ways, the ham radio stuff is very similar to the audio stuff. So, if Yaesu and Icom were stereo brands, Icom would be a Yamaha, and Yaesu would be an Onkyo. Thanks for watching, guys.